Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll explore what the Octalus is. One of the most terrifying, monstrous, and lethal creatures to emerge from the ocean's depths is the Octalus, a colossal predator that lurks in the darkness with an insatiable hunger. It is not just an ordinary sea monster, but a living nightmare that hunts with chilling intelligence, ambushing its prey with lethal precision. Its tentacles, each lined with a mouth full of razor-sharp fangs, do more than just capture victims. They slowly break them down with a digestive fluid that consumes them alive. That's why, in this video, I'll explain in detail the history and origins of the Octalus. To do this, I'll summarize its story in the movie, then discuss its physical appearance, personality, and its incredible abilities and known weaknesses. The Octalus is a colossal sea monster and one of the main antagonists in the movie Deep Rising. Its story is tied to the mystery of a luxury cruise ship called the Argonautica, which vanishes in one of the deepest parts of the Pacific Ocean, an area infamous for unexplained disappearances throughout history. This zone is said to be deeper than the Himalayas and has been the site of numerous maritime tragedies with no clear explanation, slowly building the legend of a monster lurking in the depths. The Argonautica is a luxurious cruise ship where passengers indulge in an opulent maritime lifestyle. Everything seems perfect. Simon, the ship's owner, is confident in its status and considers it an invincible floating palace. However, he is unaware that a catastrophe is about to unfold. The story begins with the introduction of Trillian, a mysterious woman in red, who is a well-known thief with an extensive criminal record. She infiltrates the ship and skillfully steals a priceless diamond necklace, but her actions do not go unnoticed. She is soon caught and confined to the ship's storage room. Meanwhile, another plot unfolds with John, the male protagonist, who is the captain of a speedboat that becomes entangled with a group of mercenaries. These mercenaries are tasked with transporting cargo to the Argonautica, but John soon discovers that the cargo they are delivering consists of torpedoes. After a violent confrontation with the mercenaries, John begins to suspect that something much bigger is happening on board the ship. The first signs of danger emerge when an unknown individual hacks the ship's systems, causing chaos in the radar and other electronic devices. At that moment, a crew member detects the presence of a massive creature rapidly approaching the cruise ship. Then, in a violent collision with the ship's hull, the Octalus is revealed for the first time. A massive sea monster so large that its impact shakes the Argonautica, sending the crew flying. As chaos unfolds, the mercenaries and crew quickly realize that the real danger isn't inside the ship, it's beneath the water. The Octalus lurks below, drawn to the ship by the sounds and vibrations it emits. The crew's attempts to escape are repeatedly thwarted as passengers and crew members vanish one by one, dragged into the depths and devoured by the monster. Panic spreads when it becomes clear that there is no escape. The ship's systems are damaged, preventing any distress signals from being sent. Amid this nightmare, the mercenaries, seeing an opportunity to loot the cruise ship, continue searching for treasure while the creature stalks them. Trillian, who had been locked away, finds herself caught in the chaos. When the Octalus launches another devastating attack, pulling more crew members and mercenaries into the water, the situation becomes increasingly desperate. The sea monster has a terrifying hunting strategy. It uses tentacles lined with razor-sharp teeth, and although it lacks eyes, it can detect even the slightest sound, making it an almost unstoppable predator. As the movie progresses, the Octalus demonstrates its intelligence by blocking the survivors' escape routes, closing hatches, and tracking their movements throughout the ship. While the survivors struggle to find a way out, Simon reveals a dark secret. This was all part of an elaborate insurance fraud scheme. Due to financial pressures and debts, Simon had conspired with the mercenaries to stage a maritime disaster, allowing them to collect a massive insurance payout. However, they never accounted for the presence of the Octalus, which ruined their entire plan. As the survivors attempt to escape in a lifeboat, they realize there is no easy way out. The sea monster relentlessly pursues them, and although they fight back in various ways, every attempt to resist seems futile. During this time, John and Trillian form a temporary alliance. Trillian promises to help John escape in exchange for him taking her to the nearest island. As they prepare for a last-ditch effort to survive, they decide to use the torpedoes left behind by the mercenaries as their final hope. The movie reaches its climax when the Octalus launches a full-scale attack, making the situation nearly unsustainable. John and the others manage to maneuver their boat toward the island, but the monster continues chasing them with relentless fury, showcasing its immense resilience and intelligence. In a desperate fight for survival, they successfully place a torpedo in the Octalus's path, triggering an explosion that destroys the creature and finally brings the nightmare to an end. Although the Octalus is defeated, it leaves an unforgettable mark on the survivors, who learn never to underestimate the power of the unknown lurking beneath the ocean. The story of this sea monster, while seemingly concluded, leaves the door open for new adventures, new creatures, and even more horrors waiting in the deep. The Octalus is a perfect example of what happens when the unknown collides with the inexplicable. It is such a terrifying and powerful creature that its mere presence redefines the concept of danger in an isolated and claustrophobic environment like the sea. The movie demonstrates how even the most sophisticated ships and advanced technology are no match for a threat that has been lurking for centuries, reinforcing the eternal mystery of what lies hidden in the ocean depths. Now that we've covered its story in detail, I want to talk about the Octalus's physical appearance, what we know about its personality and behavior, and explain its incredible abilities, as well as how one might survive and defeat this terrifying creature. The Octalus is not a unique creature, but a colossal being with multiple tentacles, each capable of operating independently and equipped with jaws filled with razor-sharp fangs. Unlike a squid or an octopus, its tentacles have mouths with sharp teeth that can capture, pierce, and suck in their victims, slowly breaking them down while they are digested alive. These tentacles are not only used to grab and submerge victims, but also rise and ambush as if they had a life of their own. Each tentacle appears to have its own intelligence and autonomy, allowing it to perform complex tasks separately. The Octalus uses these tentacles strategically, trapping its prey so they cannot escape and immediately beginning the digestive process. Victims are slowly broken down while still conscious, adding a terrifying psychological element to the threat. At the center of its body lies its primary mouth, much larger than the jaws on its tentacles. This mouth is designed to devour larger prey, such as entire humans, and has an alien and grotesque structure, with sharp teeth meant to crush flesh. Its exact size is never specified, but scenes suggest that the Octalus is a massive leviathan, comparable to mythological creatures like the Kraken. Its tentacles are large enough to crush metal structures, and the Octalus moves with surprising agility, making it an unstoppable threat. It can quickly destroy obstacles or manipulate its surroundings, using its tentacles to navigate space with incredible speed. Its skin is thick and reddish-brown, giving it a primitive and alien appearance. This skin seems adapted to the extreme conditions of the deep sea, where the pressure is incredibly high. Its rough and resilient texture suggests that it is designed to survive in an abyssal environment, making it even more terrifying and nearly indestructible. The combination of its colossal size, astonishing agility, and powerful jaws makes the Octalus an exceptionally efficient predator and one of the deadliest threats in its environment. The Octalus is an extremely aggressive creature, but also highly cunning. Its behavior is not simply that of a wild animal attacking on instinct. It is much more calculated and strategic. The creature demonstrates an impressive ability to plan its attacks and use its environment to its advantage. It does not attack indiscriminately. Instead, it ambushes its prey, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It uses its tentacles with precision, manipulates objects around it, and even seems to understand the importance of escape routes. It is capable of blocking exits, suggesting intelligence beyond that of other creatures, as it knows that trapping its prey in an enclosed space guarantees its victory. One of the most terrifying characteristics of the Octalus is its ability to learn and adapt. It does not rely solely on instinctual attacks, but has the capability to analyze situations and modify its behavior based on the actions of its prey. This makes it an even more dangerous enemy, as it cannot be easily tricked or defeated using the same methods. Humans attempting to escape the Octalus face not only its powerful tentacles, but also its ability to adapt and anticipate their movements. When it comes to feeding, the Octalus is particularly brutal. Its tentacles are not only used to capture victims, but are also equipped to inject an extremely corrosive digestive fluid. This fluid, delivered through its tentacles, begins breaking down the victim from the inside, dissolving their tissues as the Octalus sucks in the remains. This process is excruciatingly painful and gruesome, as victims experience internal decomposition while still conscious, making it a psychologically horrifying ordeal. In one of the most disturbing scenes in the film, a character is partially extracted after being digested, with their flesh already melted and disintegrated, yet still alive. This act showcases the cruelty and efficiency of the Octalus as a predator, demonstrating its ability to torture and break down its prey before consuming them completely. The Octalus's behavior not only reflects its predatory nature, but also reveals an impressive complexity in its intelligence. Throughout the film, the creature is portrayed as an efficient hunter, always in control of the situation, with every movement seemingly planned to maximize suffering and ensure its sustenance. This combination of aggression and cunning makes the Octalus one of the most terrifying threats in existence. The Octalus possesses a range of abilities that make it one of the most formidable and terrifying creatures in its universe. These abilities are essential for its survival and predatory nature, making it a deadly threat to any human who crosses its path. The Octalus's ability to inject a corrosive digestive fluid into its victims is one of its most horrifying and cruel traits, elevating its threat level beyond mere physical predation. This feeding mechanism not only grants it an impressive biological efficiency, but also maximizes the suffering of its prey, ensuring they are completely defenseless before being consumed. This process resembles the external digestion used by certain predators in nature, such as some species of spiders and starfish. In these cases, the creatures inject digestive enzymes into their prey to liquefy their tissues before absorbing the nutrients. However, in the case of the Octalus, this method is even more brutal, as the digestion process begins while the victim is still alive and fully aware of the horror happening to them. The sensation of being broken down from the inside, with tissues progressively melting away, not only causes unbearable pain, but also induces extreme psychological distress. The Octalus's digestive fluid appears to act quickly and effectively, breaking down muscles, skin, and organs within minutes, yet slowly enough for the victim to suffer a prolonged death. This is clearly seen in one of the film's most disturbing scenes, where a character is pulled out still alive, partially digested, with their skin and flesh reduced to a viscous, deformed state. Despite their horrific condition, the victim is still able to speak and express their agony, further emphasizing the sheer horror of this hunting method. From an evolutionary perspective, This mechanism has several advantages for the Octalus. First, by liquefying the flesh of its prey from within, the digestion process becomes far more efficient, allowing it to consume large amounts of food without the need to chew or physically tear apart its victims. Second, the immobilization caused by the digestive fluid ensures that prey cannot escape, reducing the likelihood of the Octalus wasting energy chasing down targets that might try to resist. Moreover, this type of feeding suggests that the Octalus is not merely an opportunistic predator, but a highly specialized hunter that has evolved to instill terror and despair in its victims. The idea of being trapped by a creature that not only devours you, but dissolves you slowly while you remain conscious is one of the deepest nightmares of human instinct. This makes it one of the most terrifying creatures in its universe, not just because of its size and strength, but because of the sheer brutality of its feeding method. Surviving and defeating the Octalus is an extremely difficult task due to its massive size, predatory intelligence, and lethal hunting abilities. Its main advantage lies in the combination of its enormous size, the flexibility and autonomy of its tentacles, its ability to move quickly in enclosed spaces, and its extremely efficient digestion method. To survive, it is crucial to understand its attack patterns and possible weaknesses. The Octalus appears to rely heavily on its aquatic environment and is most lethal in enclosed spaces, such as ships or marine platforms. Outside of these environments, its mobility could be limited. While its tentacles can move quickly, its main body is slower. This suggests that directly attacking its core could be the key to defeating it. It is not a mindless attacker. It learns and blocks escape routes. This means that any attempt to flee must be carefully planned. Its digestive fluid is its most lethal weapon, but it also indicates a dependency on the suction process to consume prey. Disrupting this process could be key to survival. If you find yourself trapped on a vessel infested by the Octalus, your priority should be to evade its tentacles and find a way to escape its reach. It is crucial to avoid open spaces, as the Octalus attacks through corridors and openings. Staying in areas with obstacles that hinder its access can increase your chances of survival. The creature demonstrates intelligence, but it does not seem to have direct vision in its tentacles. Hiding in narrow spaces or areas where its tentacles cannot maneuver effectively could be a viable strategy. As a marine creature, the Octalus may have highly developed senses for detecting vibrations. Avoiding running or making unnecessary noise will reduce the chances of being detected. The use of fire and explosives has proven effective in damaging it and forcing it to retreat. Since its tissues appear to be organic and moist, fire will not kill it instantly, but can cause significant damage. Shooting at its tentacles is ineffective, as they seem to regenerate or function independently. However, concentrated shots at its main body could be more effective. Its biology depends on corrosive digestive fluids, so using chemicals that cause adverse reactions, such as strong alkalis, could neutralize part of its offensive capabilities. The environment can be used against the Octalus. Taking refuge in reinforced metal compartments might buy enough time to develop an escape plan. Creating electrical shorts in the water could injure or disorient the creature. If it is determined that the Octalus needs water to survive, a plan could be devised to drain it or create conditions that prevent it from breathing. To defeat the Octalus, a well-planned attack is necessary. It is not a creature that can be eliminated with simple firearms, so methods that maximize damage to its central core must be employed. The most effective way to eliminate the Octalus is by attacking its main body with powerful explosives, such as demolition charges or incendiary fuel. In the movie, the monster is defeated through a massive explosion that incinerates it. If the creature is inside a ship or an underwater facility, collapsing the structure on top of it could be a viable method to trap or kill it. The most vulnerable part of the Octalus appears to be its main mouth, which becomes exposed when it feeds. If an attack is concentrated in this area using explosives or heavy weapons, there is a possibility of killing it outright. If the Octalus depends on water to survive, removing it from its habitat could be an effective strategy. If the encounter takes place on a ship, opening hatches to drain water or luring it into an area with no access to water could weaken or kill it by asphyxiation. Surviving the Octalus requires a combination of stealth, planning, and strategic use of the environment. Evading its tentacles and staying calm is key to finding an escape route. However, if eliminating the creature is the only option, explosives or methods targeting its central core should be used. While the intelligence and aggression of the Octalus make it a lethal predator, understanding its weaknesses and limitations could mean the difference between life and death. And that's everything we know so far about the entity known as the Octalus. The first time I saw this creature, I found it incredibly fascinating and terrifying. The way its tentacles moved and how each one seemed like an independent creature was truly striking. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you already know about the Octalus? Do you think a creature this terrifying and monstrous could actually exist? And finally, if you ever encountered it, what would you do? Share your answers to these questions and your overall opinion on the Octalus from the Deep Rising universe. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, share it to support the channel and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos.